You ever have that feeling that you just got your edges snatched by your supervisor? Because I have that feeling a lot. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jasmine if you didn't know, and today I'm going to tell you about what I learned from my first segment in my CF. So for those of you who don't know what segments are in your CF is typically 9 months long, and your segment is broken into 3 parts. So the first 3 months is your first segment, second 3 months is your second segment, and your last 3 months is your third segment. So at the end of each segment, your supervisor is supposed to have a meeting with you, letting you know how you can improve, and hopefully by the end of your last segment, letting you know that you're gonna get your C's, which is the goal, super important. So at the end of this first segment, my supervisor told me that I needed to work on documentation, the birth to 3 population, and my confidence. So in terms of documentation writing, in the last 3 months, I have done so many evaluations, I can't even count. I've done so many SOAP notes, I can't even count. But unfortunately, I've been leaving out things that I have learned to use in grad school. And of course, I'm not doing this on purpose. It's just once you're getting in the groove and you feel like you just need to get the documentation done, sometimes you forget to add those important things. So something that I found that has helped me, that I created over the weekend, was a very specific checklist on everything that I need to add. So not only can I just check it off and make sure that it's in the report, I can also use that during interviews to make sure that I'm asking those questions to begin with, to make sure that it makes its way to my report. The second thing that my supervisor wants me to work on is the birth to 3 population, and specifically how I'm approaching assessments and treatment. So the birth to 3 population is probably the least amount of experience I have from grad school. So it is a very large learning curve for me. I'm very much used to working with the population, whether it's children, adolescents, or adults, where I can whip out a standard assessment, or I can whip out this activity that I've planned for you, and we can just go boom, 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 go through that activity. But when it comes to the birth to 3 population, you are very much on their time. It is very child-centered, which is something that I kind of have a hard time with. But I am learning a lot about play-based assessments and play-based treatment. So the biggest thing that I've learned with that is just putting so many things in the environment and seeing what the kid goes towards. So it's so much easier to see what they're interested in and finding ways to infuse language than pulling out something that maybe they're not as interested in and trying to find ways to get them interested. So if they're already interested in what you're doing or already interested in what you have, the infusion of language and the infusion of sounds and requesting, that part is a lot easier than trying to get them interested in what you're doing. So the last thing my supervisor wants me to work on is my self-confidence. And I know this is something that I throw at you guys a lot in a lot of my videos, so it is very much a situation where I need to follow my own advice. So I think when I started being a young professional, I know a lot, but it often doesn't feel like I know a lot. So I was often giving more power to the parents. Well, do you want to stay in the room? Are you comfortable with this? This is what we're doing. What do you think? That power struggle is very difficult to kind of jump over that hurdle. But something that I'm learning to do is to have confidence in myself and understanding that I studied this for 6 years. I know a whole lot about speech pathology. This parent came to me because they know nothing about speech pathology. So just having that confidence and that power to say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is the reason why we're doing it. And getting them on board. When you feel uneasy, I feel like that can create kind of like a iffy relationship with the parents because you don't feel super confident in what you're doing. And so in turn, they don't feel super confident about you. So that is something that I'm working on and something that I know will be much better in my next segment. So I made this video so you guys won't feel like magically people who make YouTube videos know absolutely everything about speech pathology. Speech pathology every day, regardless of if you are a CF, regardless of if you've been in this field for 20, 30 years, every single day should be another opportunity for growth. So if you guys have any comments, you want to comment on your experience, you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.